Did the Beatles cause the biggest traffic jam in Liverpool history on December 19th, 1967? Yes, but not on purpose, and not for the reason you'd think. It started with one homeless man singing in the snow, and it ended with 500 people standing in the freezing cold, crying, hugging strangers, and remembering what it felt like to be human. This is that story, December 19th, 1967. Liverpool, 5:30 p.m. The snow had been falling since noon. Not the pretty Christmas card snow. The wet, heavy, miserable snow that soaked through your coat and turned streets into gray slush. The kind of snow that made you walk faster, head down, desperate to get home. The city was in that strange twilight between afternoon and evening. Office workers streaming out of buildings. Shop workers locking up. Everyone tired, everyone cold. Everyone just trying to get through another day in December. On Mathew Street, near where the Cavern Club used to be before it closed, there was a man. 50s maybe, hard to tell. Homelessness ages you in ways that make birthdays irrelevant. He had a thin coat that didn't close properly, fingerless gloves, a wool hat that had more holes than fabric, and a voice. He was singing. Not for money, though there was a cup on the ground in front of him with a few coins. Not for attention, though people hurried past pretending not to see him. He was singing because that's what he did, every evening. Same spot, same songs, the Beatles songs, the ones everyone in Liverpool knew by heart. His name was Thomas Murphy, Tommy. He'd been on the streets for 3 years, lost his job at the docks when they mechanized, lost his flat when he couldn't pay rent, lost his family when they got tired of helping someone who couldn't help himself, but lost everything except his voice and his memory of better times. And the Beatles. He'd never lost the Beatles. He'd seen them at the Cavern in 1961, back when they were nobody, back when Liverpool was just Liverpool and not the birthplace of the biggest band in the world. He'd watched them transform from scruffy kids in leather to suited phenomena. Watch them leave Liverpool and conquer everything. He was proud of them, proud of his city, proud that something good had come from the same streets where he now slept in doorways. So he sang their songs. Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever, All You Need Is Love, songs about Liverpool, songs about hope, songs about love. Even when he had none of those things himself, he sang about them, because the songs made him remember, made him feel connected to something bigger than his cold, hungry, homeless existence. That evening, December 19th, he was singing In My Life, his voice rough from cold and too many years of cigarettes and not enough food, but still singing, still trying. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed. People walked past, dozens of them, hundreds. Nobody stopped, nobody looked, just another homeless man, just another invisible person on a Liverpool street. Then a black car pulled up to the curb. Expensive. The kind of car that didn't belong on Mathew Street. The kind of car that made people notice. 4 men got out, bundled in coats and scarves, trying to be inconspicuous but failing because when you're the Beatles, you can't be inconspicuous. Not in Liverpool, not in your hometown. They'd been at a business meeting nearby. Something boring about contracts and royalties and things that had nothing to do with music. They were walking to their car when John heard it. That voice, that song, his song. "Hold on," John said, stopping. "What?" Paul was already at the car, key in hand, ready to get out of the cold. "Listen." They listened and heard Tommy singing In My Life, off key, missing notes, but singing it like he meant every word. John walked toward the sound. The other 3 followed. Curious, confused, until they saw Tommy. Saw this thin, freezing man with his broken coat and his cup of coins, and his voice that refused to quit despite everything. Tommy had his eyes closed, didn't see them approach, didn't see the Beatles standing 10 feet away, listening to him sing their song back to them. When he finished, when he opened his eyes and saw 4 men standing there watching him, he froze. Didn't recognize them at first, just saw well-dressed people. Probably going to tell him to move along. Probably going to complain. Then John took off his sunglasses. Tommy's mouth fell open. "No, no way." "Yeah, way," John said, with that Liverpool accent that never left no matter how famous he got. You're "You're the Beatles." "We're the Beatles," Paul confirmed. I didn't mean to. I know I'm not very good, You were perfect," George interrupted. "That was beautiful." Tommy laughed, nervous, disbelieving. "You're joking. I sound like a dying cat." "You sound like someone who loves the song," Ringo said. "That's better than perfect." Tommy looked at them, really looked. The Beatles, standing in front of him, in the snow, talking to him, calling his singing beautiful. This couldn't be real. Must be hypothermia. Must be finally losing his mind. "What's your name?" John asked. Tommy Murphy." "Well, Tommy Murphy, you've got a good voice. Rough, but good. Where'd you learn In My Life?" "From you. I saw you at the Cavern, 1961, before you were famous. You played it there. Not exactly like the record, but close." John smiled. "You remember that?" "I remember everything. Every show. Every song. Best times of my life, watching you lot at the Cavern." "What happened?" Paul asked gently. "How'd you end up out here?" Tommy's face closed, defensive. "Long story. Bad luck. Bad choices. Doesn't matter." "It matters," George said. "Everything matters." They stood there, 5 men in the snow, 4 who had everything, 1 who had nothing, connected by music, by Liverpool, by humanity. Then John made a decision. "Tommy, mind if we join you?" Tommy blinked. "Join me?" "Yeah, sing with you. It's bloody cold standing here doing nothing. Might as well make music. You want to... The Beatles want to sing with me? On the street? Why not? We started on streets. Might as well remember where we came from." Paul was already pulling out his phone, calling someone. "Derek?" "Yeah, can you bring the acoustic guitars from the car?" "All of them." "Yeah, now. Mathew Street, thanks." Within 10 minutes, Derek Taylor, their assistant, arrived with 3 acoustic guitars. Paul took one, John took one, George took one. Ringo didn't need anything. He could keep rhythm with his hands, his feet, whatever. They tuned quickly, professional, efficient. Then John looked at Tommy. "What do you want to sing?" "Anything, everything, I don't care. This is..." Tommy's voice cracked. "This is the best moment of my life." "Let's do Let It Be," Paul suggested. "Everyone knows it. Easy to sing along if people want to." They positioned themselves, John, Paul, and George with guitars, Ringo behind them keeping time by clapping, and Tommy in the middle, holding his cup, still not believing this was happening. Paul counted them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. They started playing, and Tommy started singing. "When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be." His voice was stronger now, steadier, buoyed by the Beatles playing behind him, lifted by their presence, their support, their music. People walking past stopped, did double takes, pulled out their coats to make sure they were seeing what they thought they were seeing. The Beatles. Actually, the Beatles, playing on Mathew Street, in the snow, with a homeless man. Within 2 minutes, there were 20 people watching. Within 5 minutes, 50. Within 10 minutes, over 100. They finished Let It Be and went straight into Hey Jude. The crowd sang along on the na-na-na part, loud, joyful, united. Cars started stopping, drivers getting out to see what was happening, traffic backing up, horns honking, but nobody cared, because the Beatles were playing, right here, right now, for free, for everyone. They played yesterday. All you need is love. Here comes the sun, song after song. Tommy singing lead on some, the Beatles singing harmony, the crowd singing everything. Office workers who'd been exhausted and miserable 20 minutes ago were now smiling, crying, hugging strangers. Shop workers who'd been counting down the minutes until they could go home were now standing in the snow, not wanting this to end. The snow kept falling, heavy and wet, but nobody moved. Nobody left. They just stood there, 500 people, maybe more, witnessing something impossible, something magical. The Beatles and a homeless man making music together. A police officer showed up, young, overwhelmed. Sirs, you're blocking traffic." John looked at him. "Yeah, we know. Sorry about that. You need to... Could you maybe... The officer had no idea what to do. How do you tell the Beatles to stop playing? How do you break up the most beautiful thing happening in Liverpool? Give us 5 more minutes, Paul said. Then we'll wrap up. The officer nodded, radioed back to station. Yeah, it's definitely them. No, I'm not joking. Yes, really. What do you want me to do? Arrest the Beatles? On Christmas? Fine, I'll let them finish. They played 3 more songs, ended with All You Need Is Love, because that felt right. That felt true. Everyone singing together, everyone connected, everyone remembering that underneath all the rushing and the stress and the cold, we're all just humans trying to make it through. When they finished, the crowd applauded. Not screaming, not hysteria, just honest, heartfelt applause. Gratitude for the gift they'd been given. John put down his guitar, walked to Tommy. Tommy Murphy, you're a hell of a singer. Tommy was crying. Thank you. Thank you for this. I'll remember it forever. So will we, Paul said. George pulled out his wallet, took out all the cash in it. Had to be $200. Put it in Tommy's cup. For the best concert we've played in years. Ringo added his money. John added his. Paul added his. Over $500 in that cup. More money than Tommy had seen in 3 years. I can't take this, Tommy protested. You earned it, John said. You sang your heart out. You shared your love of music with everyone here. That's worth something. Paul added, there's a shelter on Dale Street, run by good people. Go there tonight. Tell them we sent you. They'll help you. Get you inside, get you warm, get you started on getting back on your feet. Tommy nodded, couldn't speak, too overwhelmed. The Beatles hugged him, each one. Then they waved to the crowd and got in their car, drove away, back to their lives, back to being the Beatles. The crowd dispersed slowly, reluctantly, not wanting the moment to end. But it had to end. Everything does. Tommy stood there with his cup full of money and his heart full of something he'd thought he'd lost forever. Hope. He went to the shelter that night, told them the Beatles sent him. They didn't believe him until he showed them the money. Then they believed. He stayed there for 3 months, got sober, got healthy, got help finding work. By March 1968, he had a small flat, a job at a grocery store, a life again. He never forgot that December evening, that impossible, magical evening when the Beatles stopped traffic for him, when they played music with him, when they reminded him he was human and valuable and worthy of help. Years later, when people asked him about meeting the Beatles, he'd say, "They didn't save me, but they gave me a reason to save myself. They reminded me that I mattered, that my voice mattered, that my life mattered." That's the greatest gift anyone can give. Shio. The traffic jam lasted for 3 hours. The police eventually got it sorted, but for years after, people in Liverpool would talk about December 19th, 1967. The day the Beatles stopped traffic, the day they played in the snow, the day they reminded everyone what music really is. Not entertainment, not commerce, but connection, love, humanity. Thomas Murphy died in 1995. He was 73. He'd been sober for 27 years, had grandchildren, had a life full of people who loved him, had made it. At his funeral, his daughter found something in his belongings, a newspaper clipping from December 20th, 1967. Beatles caused traffic jam with impromptu concert, and next to it, carefully preserved, the $500 they'd given him. Every pound. He'd never spent it. Why didn't he use it? His daughter asked. His wife smiled. He did use it, just not for what you think. That money gave him hope, gave him a reason to get sober, gave him his life back. You can't spend that. You just keep it as a reminder. That's the story of December 19th, 1967. Not just about traffic or snow or a concert, but about 4 famous men who stopped to listen to one forgotten man, who reminded him and 500 other people that every voice matters, every person matters, every life has value. The Beatles made a lot of music, changed a lot of lives, but that evening on Mathew Street, they did something more important. They made one man feel seen, heard, human, and that's worth stopping traffic for. That's worth everything.